Hey yo, it's Jeff from Jeffrey-Thomas.com, and let's take a look at the Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling. So anyway, a tune that's on the simple side, finally, and good for the beginner. A lot of my students who are starting out have a good time with it. Anyway, I'm going to jump in with the intro verse for you, and you can have a good visual reference, but also please make sure that you're copying this out off my website so we can follow along together. Okay, here we go with the intro verse, nice and slow. Ready, go. Okay, all downstrokes with the pick, and you'll notice the little green highlighted divide signs that I have there, which are repeat the previous measure signs. These signs are specific for the measure before it only, whereas like the double bar, double dot is for the total section. Okay, and these are written as quarter notes, but actually they're cut short. If you're going to play this for real, it's like, right? So here's how you get that sound, because quarter notes would actually technically go, and these are actually eighth notes and then cut short. So what you do is you play the notes, the two strings, the third string and the second string, and then what you do is just bring actually like the pick and the first finger right against those same two strings to cut them off. And then here it is with time, so you have a good reference. The tune is up around 120, and this is where I'm playing it at for you. So this will give you a good reference for tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's your intro verse. And actually, who knows if that's actually a guitar or a sampled guitar sound. The Black Eyed Peas are definitely leaning towards the DJ side of things. Gotta love them for that. Anyway, moving to the guitar part, which actually comes in at 15 seconds into the tune. And this is where you're going to break from quarter notes and go to eighth notes. And it's, once again, really simple. It's good for beginners. So here we go. Now moving to the fifth string at the third fret. Okay, sixth string open. Watch your repeat signs, right? And back. Okay, now eighth notes. If I haven't brought this up before, it's splitting a quarter note in half. So the counting is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And now to reference that with tempo, here we are again at 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So, it's all about the timing, all about the counting, okay? Moving on, one other thing I want to point out for the intro verse. If you were to play with fingerstyle, the thumb is P, your first finger is I, your middle finger is M, and your ring finger is A. So, what I do when I'm going to play fingerstyle is I hold the pick in between I and M like that, okay? Then if you were to jump back up to the intro verse, you're going to use I and M on the third and second string. And this actually, I think, has more of a sound like the recording. It's just a little cleaner, right, having your finger contact on the strings. And really, to get that type of a sound, all you're doing is getting both those strings and then pulling away just those two strings at the same time, and then coming right back down on them to stop them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a good way to practice it to get the right sound. Okay, sorry, I forgot to bring that up. And then it's nice to have the pick in between these two fingers while you're doing things, so it's not in your mouth or on your leg, and you can get to it when you need it, right? Okay, moving on to a string section, or what sounds like a string section, who knows, coming in at 216, and I have the chords written for you up above in the chord diagrams. The first chord is G over B, like that, okay? And that's the shape of the chord, but when you actually go to play it, you're going to be bouncing the fingers around, so you don't really have to hold that chord shape down and go. You can, but I think the best sound is just to go. Keep it loose in the left hand, right? Okay. Then we go to a C chord, which I am fingering this way for the tune. But actually the proper way to finger this, if it's just a block chord, is with fingers 3 and 4. There it is with 2 and 3 because we're playing the lick, right? But most people finger it with 3 and 4. So for the lick, I'm using fingers 3 and 2, and that C chord is going to go. Okay. Then moving on, we have E minor over B, which is going to be this chord shape. Okay. Using those fingers. And the same rhythmic pattern. And then back to C. So notice how I'm keeping the left hand kind of rolling instead of... You could do that. You could hold the chord form solid, but I just kind of like to roll the left hand. And I'll go ahead and run this part for you slow. I'm going to drop it back to 100. And this would be the melody at 216 with time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, and there you go. Those are pretty much the 3 parts that you'll need to play the tune. But we have 5 things to go over before we finish up. Hope this isn't too boring for you. I have decided to include the C major and A minor pentatonic patterns. So the whole top row here, top 2 rows actually, are going to be, top row is a scale pattern with the chord shape highlighted underneath it that goes for each of the scale patterns. So this is a very good way that I like to teach my students how to learn how to play a scale and as well as a chord that goes along with it. So the first thing to talk about is how to read these chord diagrams which have a scale written in them. You're going to be playing 2 notes per string, starting with the 6th string, open, and then your 3rd finger is going to go to the 3rd fret. Then you go over to the 5th string, open, and you play the 3rd fret. So far so good. Go into the 4th string, open, 2nd fret, 3rd string open, 2nd fret, 2nd string 1st fret, 1st finger, to the 3rd fret on that string with your 3rd finger, open on the 1st string, and to the 1st string at the 3rd fret. Now, when you get to the highest note, you're going to turn around and come back down. Play this note again, and just come right back down. Okay, so notice how I'm picking down up on these. Okay, then the chord is this little C chord that I've given you. Actually, C over G is the name of that chord. Then we are going to go to the next pattern, which is going to start at the 3rd fret with your 2nd finger though. So those numbers that are written in the chord diagrams in the top row are fingering numbers. So we have 2, 4, 2, 4 on the 5th string, 1, 4 on the 4th string, 1, 4 on the 3rd string, 2, 4 on the 2nd string, and 2, 4 again on the 1st string. And then we come back down. Okay, and the chord that I have written here is this basic C. So what I've done is I've highlighted the chord shape within the scale pattern. This is very important because when you go to do, like, you know, licks, they all come right out of these pentatonic patterns. So it's cool to know the scale pattern as well as a little chord shape for an anchor. And I'm kind of leaning this lesson more towards like beginners, so I'm keeping the chords as triads really small, okay? So the 3rd pattern in is going to start at the 5th fret with your 1st finger, and the fingering is going to be 1, 4, so 5th fret to the 8th fret. Then we go to the 5th string, and we're going to use fingers 1, 3, frets 5 and 7. 4th string, same fingering, same frets. 3rd string, 1 and 3, frets 5 and 7. Going to the 2nd string, frets 5 and 8 with fingers 1 and 4. Same thing on the 1st string. And then you know what? Okay, and the chord that I showed is A minor. A minor over C. That's how you say the name of that chord. Whenever you see a dash in a chord shape, you say it as over. Okay, moving on. Hang in there. Hope this isn't too boring. 8th fret. And we have our 2nd finger. Fingerings are going to be 2, 4, frets 8 and 10. 5th string, fingers 1 and 4. Frets 7 and 10. 4th string, frets 7 and 10. 3rd string, 7 and 9. 2nd string, frets 8 and 10 with fingers 2 and 4. And the same thing on the 1st string. And then we come back down. Okay, and then the chord shape that I wrote here is C over E. Just a little 3-note chord right there like that. Okay, now last pattern of the 5 pentatonic patterns and we're done. 10th fret, 6th string, 1st finger. Fingers 1 and 3, frets 10 and 12. Same thing on the 5th string. Same thing on the 4th string, sorry. Okay, 3rd string we jump back to 9. And the frets are going to be 9 and 12 with fingers 1 and 3. 2nd string, 10th fret. Up to the 13th fret, fingers 1 and 4. Okay, and then finish on the 1st string with frets 10 and 12. Fingers 1 and 3. Okay, and then the chord that fits in this area is right there at the 12th fret. Some of you might recognize this as a D chord, but it's actually C over G, and that should keep you busy. Alright, so keep in mind I'm teaching on Skype, Uvu, Yahoo Messenger, Windows Live with webcams, and everything's cool. So This lesson, once again, was geared towards the beginner. So if you're some radical guitar player, sorry to waste your time. But if you're a beginner, I hope it was fun, and this should have given you a lot of things to practice. So contact me if there's any questions, and I will look forward to hearing from you. Thanks. Bye-bye.